Hello, everyone, and welcome into the hospitality room presented by Mascot Media. Bobby Swofford, Blair Cartwright with you. We talk food. We talk a lot of football. We probably can't talk enough football. We'll talk basketball and whatever else comes to mind. Before we get into all that, you met Hulk Hogan last week. Tell
Did.
me about it. How was it?
Yeah, it was very cool. So the wife works for a beer distribution company. He's got a new beer, so that's why he was in Little Rock, and they got to do a meet and greet ahead of him. So I got to meet the Hulkster, got to shake the hand, take a picture with him. He shrunk a lot.
Yeah,
The, one of his representatives said that he's lost probably 4 to 5 inches because of back surgeries.
man, that
So I
is.
am I am roughly 6'2" to 6'3", depending on what kind of shoes I'm wearing in my heels that day, and I
Yeah.
was taller than he was.
I noticed that in the picture, and I think I texted you. I thought it was six
Yeah.
seven, and he was at one point.
Used to be,
Wow.
yeah. But he was very nice. He still works out. That's obvious.
Yeah.
Um, and so they were playing essentially 80s rock music all night. But as soon as his music hit, "The Real American" by Rick Derringer,
Mm-hmm.
I became a 13-year-old kid again. Like I
Oh,
like
I
I
can
was I was I was
imagine.
like, oh, this is cool. I'm here. But as soon as his music hit, I turned into a little kid again. It was awesome.
Oh yeah, I bet. I mean, and I saw he was at the game Saturday, and
Hmm.
my son's like Hulk Hogan's here, and then some
Yeah.
other people are like, "Who is that?" And you're just like, "Oh my god,
Yeah, but
what
he
what are
did
we
a lot of the
doing?"
mannerisms and the old cliches, catchphrase sayings.
Yeah.
Wrestling in the late '90s, early 2000s. So there's about a 10-minute window it was a really good time.
And I've noticed a bunch of people, Facebook friends, have got pictures with him because
Yeah.
he was everywhere,
Hmm.
and I mean the man can work the camera.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it was cool.
I mean,
So
cool. Well, that
scratch
that
that
is
one off the bucket list. Yeah.
yeah. That I mean that's worth how many mascots? A
Several.
ton, isn't it?
I didn't post it to Twitter, but because I thought about with the caption, I was like, it's not a mascot, but it is like a representation of wrestling in the world.
Oh, it's an icon. I mean, it's
Yeah.
above mascot
Hmm.
status.
Yeah.
That's iconic. So
Yeah.
unbelievable. All right. Well, let's get to our talking points. We'll talk first a different
Football.
kind of football, Arkansas football, soccer. I'm totally
Yeah.
flummoxed. I don't know that we've talked about them all year, but
Hmm.
they're in the NCAA tournament. They're hosting Cal on Friday with an
Yeah.
opportunity to go to the Sweet 16. Probably the best thing on campus right now that no one's talking about.
Yeah. And they've been, one of the best teams in the country the last couple of years. It's just they have hit that glass ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
They cannot get over the hump. And was it like 4 or 5 years in a row they lost in the conference championship match? And I think this
Yep.
year they lost in the second round to Texas in overtime or double
Mm-hmm.
overtime on a goal that
On
was disallowed or something.
an own goal.
Yeah. So they've been so close. I mean, they're 15-2-2, I believe. Yeah, 15-2-2. Like one of the best teams in the country, but like can they
Mm-hmm.
take that next jump to get to a Final Four, to get to a championship game? And that's always been the question about the squad, but obviously a lot of success over the last couple of years.
Oh, no question about it. I think they lead the NCAA with 20 different players who've scored a goal. The hardest thing, and we've seen this in other sports, is when you host, there's so many more distractions, and they're hosting
Hmm.
again this year. You almost wonder if you're better off going on the road where you can focus down, but each team is different. So
Yeah.
who knows? But it's crazy to think Colby Hale, when he was hired, it was a press release that went out at like 4:45 on a Friday afternoon. Never even had a press conference, and
Yeah.
he's close to being the most successful, if not the Van Horn. Might be, you go back and forth,
Hmm.
coach on campus. Amazing.
Yeah. No, I mean it really is. Obviously, it's only women's soccer at Arkansas. They don't have the men's team, so it doesn't get the notoriety and the publicity that a lot of the
Mm-hmm.
other sports do. But I mean, they're very, very good. They'll pack out their stadium. The
Mm-hmm.
running joke for a long time is when we, the AAA, would hold our championship events. That was the only time that fans showed up at their soccer stadium. Well, that's not the case
Yeah.
anymore. Because I mean, they're selling that thing out every night, every time they play at home. They blew out Oklahoma State in the first round, so they got a little momentum rolling now in the NCAA tournament. Hopefully, they can continue this on and make a run at a title.
It would be great to see. And Colby's a great guy. So we wish them all the best. All right. It was there. I mean, it
Yeah.
was there for the taking. Couldn't do it.
Yeah. The offense, and I'm speaking it like a broken record because you and I have had this
Yeah.
conversation all year long. The offense refuses to make adjustments.
Yeah.
When you have an offensive tackle, right tackle to be exact, who cannot block the guy across from him, couldn't block him all game, and you don't give him any help, and you expect what's the definition of insanity? Just doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. That's what
Mm-hmm.
Arkansas is.
Yeah.
How?
Stubborn.
Why did Bobby Petrino is allegedly one of the greatest play callers of all time? I'm not saying that's what other people say. I think
Yeah.
he's past his time. But how do you not make an adjustment? Slide the protection, throw a tight end, throw a running back over there. He clearly
Yeah.
can't block the defensive end, and yet drive after drive after drive was killed because of protection issues. And in which a game that you had a chance to take a lead in the fourth quarter, had possession, had the momentum, and couldn't get the job done.
Yeah, it's just rinse and repeat. And it's like
Yep.
I was thinking today, okay, Green, they're just hell bent and stubborn. We're gonna run with Green.
Yep.
Can't read a defense and is inaccurate.
Mm-hmm.
But what? He didn't even win the Tennessee game for you. That was Singleton coming off the bench,
Yep.
and I don't get it.
Yeah,
The
it's
secondary
frustrating.
secondary played its best game of the year because you put someone new in there because you had to.
Yep.
And it's like we've seen this time and time again. They keep playing the same guys over and over and keep getting the same results, then forced to play somebody new, and the results are better.
Yeah.
Ah,
Here's another position change that needs to happen. Tyrone Broden has to get out of the rotation. He can't catch
oh,
football.
yeah,
Can't catch.
skillet hands. And
Yeah.
I would admit, the pass Green threw was very, very risky into triple coverage, but he put it exactly where it had to be.
Right on the hands.
Yeah, and it's like the
Yeah.
worst place you could throw it.
Yeah. I mean, Arkansas's got some really, really talented playmakers with major flaws. We know what Taylor Green is. We're talking about that. Isaiah Satania is an electric player. Can't hang on to the
Mm-hmm.
football once he does catch it. Uh, Tyrone Broden, just great
Can't
talent.
catch.
6'5", 220 pounds, going to run like a deer. Can't catch.
Yeah.
Literally, I think what you said, skillet hands. It literally is like throwing a ball at a brick wall.
Yeah. I mean, looks great getting off the bus,
Yeah.
but there's more to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, special teams have not been special. I mean, when's the last time they had a kick returned for any amount of yardage?
Yeah. I'm with you.
It's just,
And all this is for a team that's 5-5. Just imagine if they had the little details they paid attention to.
yeah. I mean, I don't get, why do you not give Singleton a series? I mean, the kid won you the freaking biggest game you've had all year, your biggest victory.
So you got a 21-point lead this weekend on La Tech going in the second half. I think he plays the entire second half. You got to see what you got.
I'd be shocked if he did, though, because
I would too.
who knows what they're thinking. It's just numbing. All right. The SEC, though, is a mess, it seems like to me, and I forgot which one I put it on. Yeah, here's the standings. Now, if I told you this the start of the season and said, this is probably what's going to happen, you would have demanded a drug test. Would you not? I mean, Texas and A&M are both 5-1. Georgia's got 2 losses. Tennessee's got 2 losses. Bama's 2 losses. Ole Miss is 2 losses. South Carolina, 5-3. I mean, what's going on?
I think we're seeing this year is what you read. The headline says it all. It's a mess. But I don't think that there's any elite teams in the SEC. I also don't think there's any elite teams in the country. I think this year is a very watered down product. I think the transfer portal has really leveled the playing field, which is what people wanted. But I don't think teams are better because of it. I think they're just kind of straight across the board. we're going to see somebody in the SEC go to a championship game with 2 losses and then have a third and get knocked out. We talked about that last year.
Yeah.
You're probably rooting not to make the league title game this year.
Oh no.
But let's go full chaos. I mean, we need A&M to beat Texas, and all of a sudden you've got 5 teams sitting there with 2 losses. And then what do you do?
Yeah. I mean, it's going to come down probably to A&M and Texas, but don't. Well, let me pull it up here. Don't count your chickens too fast.
Oh, this is funny.
If I can find, where is he? I got to get him to play here.
November 30th, was announced as a night game today. How do you deal with that with your guys and saying, hey, we still have something ahead of us at Auburn, or is that even a big issue with your team?
I don't think it's an issue. I think when you're in the situation we're in, it's easy to focus on the task at hand. I think, those big games earlier in the year, maybe you look ahead. If we didn't have at stake what's at stake, maybe you would worry about it. I think our focus is single-handedly on on Auburn right now and locked in on what we got to get done.
Oh, they're locked in. Yeah. So A&M will probably lose this week. But
ultimate tongue-in-cheek.
Like,
we're only focused on Texas. Auburn. Yeah, just complete diarrhea of the mouth there. Love it.
Unbelievable. Just I heard that. And you can't take it back. I mean, it's there. So it just sums up the whole season. All right, the Heisman. Is it Hunter? I mean, he's now the odds-on favorite.
Yeah. If they lose another game, maybe 2. Let me go back. If Colorado wins the Big 12, they run the table the rest of the regular season and win the Big 12 title game, I think he gets it because they'll be in the playoff and they'll give out the award before the playoff starts, I think. If they don't make the playoff and Boise State does and Ginty plays really, really well over the next couple of weeks, I think that the Boise State running back will get the nod. But with Cam Ward losing to Georgia Tech and Miami not playing well, I think that knocked him out of the contention.
Gabriel was the odds-on favorite last week. Now he's at plus 3,000, which, I mean, they won. I mean, he wasn't great, but he wasn't horrible. Mm-hmm. Okay, Hunter is good. And I think the most impressive stat I heard on him was he's only given up 1 touchdown defensively all year, which we know how scoring is in college football. But it seems like he makes the 1 catch on a horribly thrown ball, and everybody wants to give him a Heisman because of 1 play.
Yeah. Well, and his coach is building him up. We don't hear about the Boise State running back. Obviously, their head coach is couldn't tell you who he is. I mean, so it's that I think has something to do with it. You need to have that campaign. Dylan Gabriel, I'm surprised it's not getting a little more love nationally. Just set the all-time record for touchdowns accounted for in college. Granted, he's been in school for like 15 years. Yeah. With the COVID year, so the stats are obviously inflated. But it's surprising that he's not getting a little more push. But you look at the remaining schedule for these 2 teams. I'm really just going to narrow it down. Colorado has got Kansas, who's actually playing pretty real right now, and Oklahoma State. If he goes out there and plays really well in those 2 games, again, the Big 12 championship game against likely BYU, then he's probably going to be the front runner. But you look for Boise, they're undefeated in conference play, only losses to Oregon by a point. But what Ginty has done this year is crazy. 1,800 yards, almost 1,900 yards. You look at the touchdowns of what's he got now? 26 total rushing touchdowns. And their remaining schedule, going to have the conference championship game, of course, Wyoming, Oregon State, and whoever they play in the league title game, which is likely going to be, look at these standings here, the Mountain West. Colorado State. Does the needle move that much for you? Unfortunately, it doesn't if you're a Boise State fan.
Well, and also, what network are they going to be on compared to Colorado? Because Colorado will be on Fox, and ESPN has the Big 12 championship. Mm-hmm. Boise will probably be on the CW, FS1, FS2, ESPN.
So
the Ocho.
Their next 2 games, CBS Sports Network against Wyoming, and then
Yeah.
they do get a Fox game against Oregon State. So if
Okay.
he runs for 300 yards and 5 touchdowns against Oregon State on Fox, maybe. But that's also
Yeah.
an 11 a.m. kick Central Time, so it's 9 a.m. local time. So he's gonna have to get up really, really early to try to go show out and win a Heisman.
Yeah. It's not looking good. So is Hunter a foregone conclusion at this point?
If they win out, I think he is.
Okay. And they probably should. So that settles that. Oh, yes. Our man, and I've got this. They showed this last night and I almost fell out of my chair. The Cowboys
Oh,
have the last 6 games. I mean, look at that. 2 minutes and 15 seconds with the lead. Over 100 minutes down 20. I mean, holy cow.
and the roof is falling. The sky is literally falling in Arlington.
Yes. Yes.
So yeah, they're a bad team. I turned on the game last night. I had the man cave. I had the Hogs basketball on one TV and the Monday night game. They're hanging in there. It's 14-10. Then Aubrey misses the field goal. He slips on the turf, and then it's just complete train wreck from there.
Yeah. And it's just reaction shots to Jerry, and it's awful. So, well, with that, let's get into our NFL recap. Best game of the week was Thursday night. Commanders Eagles. We split. Here's the pick totals. I don't know. I'm on a heater somehow.
Wow,
I've passed you. Yeah, I'm above 500. It's insane. But Eagles, Commanders.
Yeah.
I mean, short week. You kind of expect it. I mean, the Eagles are winning despite Sirianni.
But they're winning a lot.
And the Commanders are kind of hitting a lull, which you'd expect with the rookie quarterback. That happens.
Mm-hmm.
But
I think you really got to start paying attention to Philadelphia again. I mean, all of a sudden they're now 8-2, have won 6 in a row, and kind of doing so in dominant fashion. They got the Rams this week. 2 weeks from now, they got the Ravens. So I think you're starting to see a Philadelphia team that is proven they may be an NFC contender.
Saquon has been the pickup of the year. Ooh, this was close. The Bears. Yeah. I mean, Bears are going to bear. We both missed.
Yeah.
Fire the OC. The offense looks better. The Packers. Is Love 100%?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, divisional game on the road. You win, you're happy if you're Green Bay. You got to block the field goal last play of the game. Easily could have gone the other direction, but divisional games, especially starting to get November, December, you just take wins. You don't really care about the style points, I guess, if you will.
The fact the Bears didn't run another play and try to get a little closer, though, was a little surprising, to say the least. And now the rumors are out. Belichick could go to Jacksonville.
Can't. You got Mac Jones on that roster. I mean, he's the only healthy quarterback they got.
Good point. Well, even if you'd want him, but okay. So the Lions are killing teams. Second time they put up 50 plus.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's crazy how efficient they are on offense right now.
Yeah. I mean, look at Goff's numbers. They're nuts.
It almost seems like every time they step out there, Goff has just as many touchdown passes and incompletions.
Yeah. I mean, it's uncanny, and yet no one's talking about him for anything. The Raiders are a mess. The Dolphins are a mess. Yeah. I thought it was going to happen.
Yeah.
But Drake May's playing well.
He is. He's playing very well despite his offensive line, despite his receivers. What they're doing offensively is not – because you go look at a box score. Drake May throwing 40 passes, like, that can't be sustainable, right? But, all these passes are 4 and 5 yards. They're immediately, as scheduling, ball get out as fast as you possibly can. Hunter Henry's having a monster year. The slot receiver, Demario Douglas, is putting up some numbers. They're a bad team that can't get over the hump, and their defense got torched. I mean, Matt Stafford and Puka Nacua had a field day against them. Christian Gonzalez takes away Cooper Kupp, but option number 2 runs wild in the slot. And as I don't know if you saw it, you probably didn't pay attention to it. The Patriots cut their slot corner yesterday. So,
nice.
Yeah, so you played so well, you don't play here anymore. But yeah, I mean, the Patriots, they are who they are, but it's the 4th game they lost by 6 points or less this year, and they're a 3-8 team. I'm not going to play the ifs and buts game, but they could potentially could be 7-4. But they're a bad team that just doesn't have it yet.
Well,
That's
and
why
you
lose.
don't win. You don't usually don't win with a rookie quarterback.
Correct.
It just doesn't happen. Or you don't win out a quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, the Saints fire Allen, and now they've won 2 in a row. So maybe he was the
Browns
issue,
are really bad.
but they both stink.
Yeah.
Tomlin thought he was nuts for making the change.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson does just enough, and the Ravens. What is it? The Ravens can't beat the Chiefs, and they can't beat the Steelers.
Yeah, but they can beat the Bills, who they've gotten a week or two. Oh yeah, it is kind of odd how the matchups are. Russ did make a big mistake in that game though, threw an interception in the end zone when they had a chance to put it away.
That was
let
bad.
Baltimore hang around. Yeah.
Yeah. So, who knows? The Titans and the Vikings.
That's bad. Oh.
Anthony Richardson actually looked like an NFL quarterback.
Yeah.
And Aaron Rodgers did not look like an NFL quarterback. And then today, the Jets fire their general manager.
Yeah.
After a report comes out that they may not want Aaron Rodgers back.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
It's watching that game. I had that in the quad box bottom left because that's all it warranted. I was just laughing at what the Jets were doing. Because if you go look at the play-by-play to start that game, the Jets go their first 5 possessions, 3 yards, or 3 plays, 7 yards, 3 plays, 1 yard, 3 plays, 1 yard, 4 plays, 9 yards, 3 plays, 9 yards. That was their first 5 possessions. Didn't gain a first down.
Yeah. I mean, well, and it's obvious that Adams and Rodgers are not on the same page.
Nope.
And
They're
he's got buyer's remorse.
Yeah.
I mean, Aaron Rodgers looks worse and worse. So you fired your head coach. Now you fired your GM.
Yeah.
Who wants to go there? The owner is thought to be go back to England, be an ambassador again. Rodgers. So that leaves the brother in charge. And guess who Aaron Rodgers is tight with?
Yeah,
the brother.
That's the only thing that's going to. I was texting with Bertuccini, who's a big Jets fan, radio guy there in Northwest Arkansas.
What was his reaction?
Texting earlier today. He's like, you can fire everybody you want. You can cut Aaron Rodgers. He says, as long as Woody Johnson owns and is running the team, it's not going to matter.
True. But they actually did better when he was overseas.
Yeah.
Out of the way. But who knows? Broncos, they'll beat the Chiefs when they play again.
They're playing well.
Being upfront about it. But the Falcons, holy cow! Well. They were going to be. They stink.
Mm-hmm. They stink.
Snidely Whiplash is getting his comeuppance. They've gotten just. They're awful.
Yeah. So we're going to give the offensive rookie of the year to Jalen Daniels just because of what he's been able to do with the franchise that's been awful forever in Washington. Mm-hmm. But you got to put some respect on what Bo Nix has done in Denver.
Oh yeah,
his numbers, especially over the last 5 or 6 games, are unreal. He's completing over 65%. The touchdown to interception ratio, touchdown to turnover ratio is like 16-2 over his last 6 games. I mean, he's really doing a nice job of controlling the offense. Yes,
he's getting better and better each week, and it's just, I mean, look out when all the dead cap money from Russell Wilson goes away because they're going to be dangerous. Yeah. Geno Smith, he does it like once or twice a year, jumps up and does something. And the Niners, holy cow. Fourth quarter, I mean, they get off script and Shanahan just, has he lost the magic touch?
I think so. Purdy's doesn't. I think the weapons are older, and I think that's one thing that we didn't really account for with the 49ers. We all talked about how great it is to have a young quarterback with Brock Purdy, but the window may be gone for McCaffrey and Deebo Samuels and George Kittle because all those guys have a lot of miles, not only because of their age, but the number of playoff games they've played the last few years. And nobody talks about those extra hits, those extra snaps you got to play. I just think that team's starting to get older and older. They don't have the same that dominant running game. I think they still ran for 130 or 140 yards, but they don't have that like we're going to mow you over for 180 to 190 every day. So I don't know if they're holding back, trying to save some bullets, if you will, for a postseason run. But they're in trouble. I mean, they're a team that's sitting at 500 right now, tied for the division lead with Seattle, and you got Arizona. Is Arizona in front of them?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's a chance they may not make the
Yeah.
playoffs.
So they're in a 3-way tie for second place, and Arizona's, in sole possession of first place in the West. I mean, so there's no gimmies in that division either. So it's time to worry if you're a 49ers fan.
Oh, I think so. They continue to blow fourth quarter leads.
Mm-hmm.
They're great early on when all the plays are scripted, but it seems like when it comes time to adjust in crunch time, Shanahan is the new Marty Schottenheimer.
Maybe so.
Could be possible. It was a great game. Hey, hats off to the Bills. They won.
Yeah.
Fair and square. That fourth down run was big time.
It's Josh Allen. That's what he does. Yeah.
But I'm glad the streak is over, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
They've been skating by. In the grand scheme of things, it doesn't mean anything, but
no, yeah, you almost, but you wish that loss would have come to somebody like Jacksonville or New England, not somebody that you could potentially be in a tiebreaker for a playoff spot. Because now the margin of error is pretty thin when you're talking about the Chiefs for home field advantage. You're looking at right now, they're 9-1, they're all alone, but Pittsburgh's 8-2, Buffalo's now 9-2, and has the tiebreaker. You just mentioned a second ago, Denver's going to beat Kansas City when they play each other. Yeah. Obviously, I think you've got the Chargers again at least once more. I don't know what the exact remaining schedule is for Kansas City. Tough. So, you got the Chargers, you got the Texans, you got the Steelers, you close with the Broncos on the road. So there's some tough games coming up for Kansas City. And that loss, maybe because of the tiebreaker, could send you to Buffalo in late January. And I'm not sure that's not a place you want to play.
Yeah, but we've been there before. So,
yeah,
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But it was, the Bills look good. Can they do it again? Time will tell.
Yeah.
Poor Dave. Yeah. He's demanded that the networks not show the Bengals in prime time anymore. Mm-hmm. Man.
But after he said that, they make this huge run. They tie the game, and then they let it run down their leg in the last drive of the game.
I mean, Chase and Burrow are must-see TV. Holy cow. But, okay, is Zach Taylor the answer? Or is the problem ownership?
I mean, just look at the box score. Defensively is the problem. I mean, you can't give up 34 points and expect to win. Yeah, you got to be able to get stops.
You've got the best receiver and the best quarterback. Yeah, and and Harbaugh, what a difference he's made with the Chargers. And then last night, holy cow, how bad is Trey Lance that he doesn't even get in the game, and they gave up a 4th-round pick for him.
Yeah. Well, what you're seeing right here is another reason why I think the Bengals are struggling. They let Joe Mixon essentially go for peanuts, and he's lighting the world on fire for Houston.
Totally. Yeah. I mean,
the Cowboys are awful. They don't even deserve to be talked about, to be quite honest.
No. And it's only fitting that they'll play on Thanksgiving because they're a big turkey, and they're playing the Giants, who are also a big turkey.
Bench Daniel Jones for Tommy DeVito. Are you kidding me?
So, does Dybul coaching for his job? Shane should probably lose his for not re-signing Barkley. $5 million. That's all it would have taken additionally.
It's going to be a complete implosion for the Giants. Quarterback, head coach, general manager, all done this year.
Unbelievable.